This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming Suzanne Savoy. Suzanne is a prolific, accomplished actress, and she's a voiceover artist, and she is just a very talented lady who's had quite a career. She was in Kevin Tenney's cult supernatural horror classic, The Cellar, and she was in Cohen and Tate, Vasectomy, A Delicate Matter. She will be my third guest from that movie. She's guest starred on everything from Walker, Texas Ranger to Better Call Saul, and she's best known for having recurring roles on Steven Soderbergh's The Nick and House of Cards, and she's done a lot of great work, and it's going to be great to have her on today. She is my first time guest of 2026. I've been having a lot of returning guests the last few days, but she's going to be my first, newcomer, so it's going to be great today. Also, happy birthday, Elvis, the king himself. He would have been 91. Imagine Elvis at 91. If things hadn't gone the way they did, he probably would have done Broadway, produced other artists in the music industry, and maybe even marry Madonna. Who knows? So yeah, here is my interview with Suzanne Savoy.
Hey there, Tom.
Hey, Suzanne, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, yes. Thanks for being my first time guest of 26. I've had a lot of returning guests the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is awesome. So, going back in time, I was reading that you were originally on the trajectory of costume design. What age did that start for
Yeah.
you?
Well, it really had to do with just blinding fear. It was pretty clear from an early age that I should have been an actor, because I was always acting little stories out and so
Hmm.
forth. But I was too scared to be an actor because it just looked like it was a hard life. And my mother had been an amateur actress, and she was very dramatic.
Hmm.
So, she, no, everybody's like, oh, I don't want to be like my mother. So, so I fought against it tooth and nail. And I thought, well, I like to sew and I like to draw and I love the theater, so maybe I'll just be a costumer instead. So that it was really just me fighting against what I really knew all along I should have been doing, but it kept me close to the acting world. I probably started I started costuming early on too. In middle school and high school, I was costuming the shows at
Hmm.
school, and I, continued on with that. I went to National Theatre School in Montreal in Canada, and for design, and
Hmm.
did that for a lot of years. And I still design when it's a project that I'm interested in. But then, things changed, and I moved on.
Yeah. Did your mom teach you how to sew with like an old-fashioned sewing machine?
Well, old-fashioned. It wasn't like a treadle machine where you have to pump the pedals with your feet or anything. It was just a, regular electric Singer sewing machine. But she taught us how to sew, and I went to a convent school in Montreal with my sister Jeannie, and we lived there during the week, went home on weekends, and the nuns taught us hand sewing and, all those useful things
Yeah.
that are going to get you big paying jobs, when you grow up. I was pretty handy with a needle and thread and a
Yeah,
sewing
I
machine.
I wish I could
Yeah.
say the same thing. I took a sewing class for home ec when I was in junior
Oh, you
high.
did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I kept pricking my fingers on the needles and penetrating my
Yeah.
skin, and it's
Where,
just
where, where did you go to school?
I grew up in the Bay Area.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well, like in Walnut Creek, or where were you?
San Mateo.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so like my fingers are long and wide, and so they're not cut out for sewing.
No, 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 no. Well, I got little monkey fingers, so I actually love doing all that stuff. But and I will say that once I started acting, my design background really came in handy because I pretty much design all my characters.
Hmm.
I will come to an audition, not in a costume or anything, but certainly in something that suggests the silhouette. Like for when I did The Nick, which was a miniseries for Steven Soderbergh,
Right.
and it takes place in the year 1900. Well, I showed up in modern clothes, but they suggested the silhouette of 1900, and
Hmm.
that just helps you be the person, the character, a little better.
Absolutely. So you're born and
Yeah.
raised in Quebec?
Yeah, I was raised in Montreal, Quebec. I'm from Delaware originally, but
Huh.
my dad's family was from Canada, and we moved up there when I was 5. And so I lived in French Canada for, I don't know, like 20 years, and moved out to Saskatchewan for a couple of years. But I moved back to the States when I was in my early 20s, mid 20s, something like that.
Yeah, I love the Canadians. They're so sweet and so honest and
Yeah.
real. They
Oh,
have a
yeah.
shameless sense of humor.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Everybody's sorry up there.
they're just awesome.
Yeah.
So after high school, you attended the National Theatre School of Canada. Did you do costumes over there?
Yeah, that's what I was studying. But I
Yeah.
would sneak off and sit in on some of the acting classes and the improv classes, just because I was interested in everything. I feel like it's it's good to be just a theater artist or to be a filmmaker, not just an actor or not just a designer. It's good to be interested, for me anyway, maybe not for everybody, but um, yeah, I would sneak off, and when I was doing summer stock, a few years later in Vermont, I would take all my hand sewing and sneak up into the theater and watch the rehearsals when I was hemming costumes and things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you came to the States, where did you live first?
Well, I came back to Delaware, which is where my folks were living. Everybody had moved back to Delaware by that point from Canada,
Hmm.
and because my mom was originally from Delaware, and so she had enough of Canada, enough winter. Thank you very much. And so she and my dad moved back down to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, which is a little seaside community, and a lot of fun, real cool place to hang out. And so I was down here living in Wilmington, Delaware, but spending a lot of time down at the beach. And it was while I was in Wilmington, after doing some odd jobs here and there, I had a boyfriend who just said, what the hell are you doing working in an office? You're a creative person. Just you should be doing the things that you should be out there front and center.
Hmm.
And so I saved up $2,000, Tommy. I,
Wow.
I thought, okay, I'm going to quit my job. I'll have $2,000. That'll keep me for like 6 months. I'll live off that for 6 months. And I'm here to tell you that it was long enough ago that actually it did last for about 6 months. And, but I just sort of cast my fate to the wind and said, all right, I'm going to try all the things that I think I'm good at.
Hmm.
Design, drawing, painting, writing, acting, modeling, all these different things. And I thought, well, one of them's going to land, and
Hmm.
I'll know which one it is. So that's what I did.
Well, in Texas, you had a chance encounter with Helen Hayes.
I did. That's what changed everything. Because
Hmm.
I had started modeling,
Hmm.
and I wasn't a very good model. I just
Hmm.
didn't care enough about how I looked to constantly be, oh, my nails aren't done, or oh, my stockings aren't straight, or my whatever. I didn't care enough. I did it, and I had a pretty good career. I was making money as a model, but it wasn't floating my boat. And my agent said, "Well, why don't you take this little acting seminar with this casting director from ABC?" And I did, and that went really well. She said, "Oh, you're leading lady material. You should try it." So I took some acting classes, and after about a year, I'm sitting in the studio one day with my friend Scott in Houston, Texas, way out on the west side, out off of I-10, in this little tiny acting studio, and there was a dinner theater across the parking lot called the Windmill Dinner Theater, and Helen Hayes' son, who played Dano on what was it, Hawaii Five-0.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was in this play, but it wasn't getting a very good audience. And so on this particular night, apparently, they didn't have any audience, so the theater sent everybody home. Well, I'm sitting in this studio with this acting studio with my friend Scott, and I look up and I see this little face in the window walking by and sort of peeking into the window, and I go, "Whoa, that's Helen Hayes." And he goes, "Yeah, right," because she was known as the first lady of the American theater.
Yeah.
And she had been in, the movie Airport, and just was a real familiar face. So, and I go, okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. Well, then a minute later, she goes by the other way. I'm like, no, seriously, there's Helen Hayes. She just went by. And then the door opens, and in she walks, and she's about 5'10", 4'10". She's a little tiny lady. And she goes, "Hello, I'm Helen Hayes. I'm looking for my son." And we're like, "Well, okay, well, we'll help you find him." And, I had always thought that actresses were flaky and stupid and loose, couldn't make a living. All I knew was the gossip magazines and my mother's dramatic, crazy nature. And so I was just like, oh, God, I don't want to be that. Well, here comes Helen Hayes, and she's poised, and she's lovely and well-spoken and respected and is a good mother and wife and self-supporting. And I thought, oh, my God, if I could be 1/1000th of what that lady is, that would be a career that I could be proud of. And everything changed in that moment.
Wow.
So who knows, if I had never met her, what would have happened? I don't know.
Yeah, that is interesting. And
yeah.
Is Texas where you met Wayne DeHart?
Yeah. We were, I can't remember exactly. Oh, we were doing a TV show called, I believe we were doing a TV show called Miller and Mueller that a German company was making. And he was playing some ratty old drug dealer, and I was some bitchy police captain, police lieutenant, and I just, man, the second I met Wayne, I just thought this guy's got it. He's just a really special person. I've always had a real deep spot in my heart for Wayne DeHart. He's great.
He's great, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him when I was a kid play a pimp, and they still call me Bruce, and he has no memory of doing that at all. It was a very interesting conversation in that part, but he was great. He was great.
Yeah. And it was so funny because back then, he's always been very humble, but he had no idea what his potential was. He just, I said to him one day, I said, Wayne, I saw him do this thing about Malcolm X at the Ensemble Theater in Houston. And I said, Wayne, you should be doing Shakespeare. You should be doing classical theater because you really get how to do verse. And he's like, oh, no, that highbrow stuff, that's not for me. The people like me don't do that stuff. I'm like, yeah, they do. Come on, man. Yeah. So I just think he can do anything.
Mm-hmm. What years were you at HB Studios?
Oh, HB, I believe it was in the early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like somewhere between 2000 and 2008, somewhere in there.
Oh, okay.
I took a bunch of different courses there.
And you studied improv at UCB?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I loved it. Loved doing improv. But at the time, it was very much kind of a young guy's game. All the guys in the classes at the time were,
Mm-hmm.
like late teens, early 20s,
Right.
and they were all referencing Transformers and Wolfman and shit like that. And
Yep.
it just I didn't have the depth of knowledge that they did in all those films and shows and things. So they'd see me come along, this older woman, and they'd be like, "Oh God, we don't want her on our team." But I did end up being on 3 different indie teams that traveled around and did improv. So it was. And when I first started doing improv, that's when I started getting comedy work. I
Mm-hmm.
did the John Oliver show a couple of times, and there was another show I did that was the show was canceled. It was some late night talk show. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, I just started doing UCB comedy shorts and things like that, and getting more comedic stuff in TV shows.
That's interesting.
So, yeah. So, but it was kind of known at that point, after the rise of Amy Poehler and Tina Fey and all those guys.
Matt Walsh. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He was hanging around when he was around when I was there, and it just was really known that if you studied at UCB and if you got yourself on an improv team, the casting people at the various networks would sneak in and watch the shows, and they'd cherry pick the actors that they saw that they liked. So it was a good way to get started in doing comedy on TV and in film.
In 1986, you were in a short-run production of Peter Pan the Musical with Kathy Rigby playing Peter Pan.
I was.
How was that experience?
It was funny because I was not an equity member at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And Theater Under the Stars was an equity house. And so I got hired, I think mostly because I fit in the clothes for the character. It was before Kathy Rigby started doing Peter Pan on Broadway and touring the country. It was this sort of I think she had done a show of Peter Pan with the Ice Capades or something, and decided she liked doing it. So this was just a 4-city tour that I think started at the light opera somewhere in California. I can't remember. Was it was San Diego? I can't remember. But it was some place in California. And then it came to Texas, and the lady who was playing Mrs. Darling couldn't come. She was sick or something happened. So I filled in for her for the Texas leg of the tour. Mm-hmm. And it was great. I mean, Kathy Rigby, that woman is the hardest working woman practically in showbiz, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And her husband is always supportive, and they were definitely a team. And it was just a great cast, and the woman who played Wendy on Broadway with Mary Martin, Sandy Duncan. I'm not sure who it was, but she had played Wendy on Broadway, and she was in the cast, and she was wonderful. But I was treated kind of like lower form of life because there wasn't equity. And I noticed that everybody in the dressing room got paid for their shoes. If you wore your own shoes in the production, you got paid, I don't know, like $10 for wearing your shoes.
Right.
I thought, well, damn it, I wanted paid for my shoes. And then Kathy Rigby came in and gave sneakers because she was representing, I don't know, what Nike or whatever the company was. And she gave everybody a pair of shoes, but she didn't give me a pair of shoes. And I thought, well, damn it, it was all about the shoes. Well, damn it, I'm going to join the union because I want those shoes. And so there was a big big rigmarole, and the union came in and told them they had to make me a union member because I was with SAG-AFTRA, and so I wasn't allowed to do equity, an equity show, and not be an equity member. So they had to make me a union member, and that was my first union show.
Wow.
But the funny thing about that is, like, years later, I'm in New York. I've moved to New York, and I had kind of a one-on-one meet and greet with a casting director. I can't remember her name. But she looks at my resume and she goes, "You were in the touring show of Peter Pan?" And I go, "Yeah." She says, "No, you weren't. I cast that." I'm like, "Well, I know I was in it."
Yeah.
Well, she had cast when Kathy Rigby went on to do I guess a bigger production of it and a bigger tour and did Broadway. She cast that, but she didn't seem to know anything about this initial tour. And I don't think she ever saw me again. I think she just thought I was a big liar and wrote me off. It's amazing how stuff like that will come back and bite you in the ass years later. Because, like, in about 1990 or 91, something like that, I got approached by somebody, Film Threat magazine. I don't know if you know that magazine, but it was...
Sounds familiar.
It was a film magazine that started out right around 1990. It was brand new. And I think the second issue maybe had Kyle MacLachlan on it doing Twin Peaks. And they wanted to start a column about Tales from the Casting Couch. And nobody wanted to be interviewed for this thing because they didn't want to get in trouble. So I said, well, I'll do it. I'll do Tales from the Casting Couch. And I had some pretty steamy stories of people, trying to have their way with me when I first started my career. Mm-hmm. And so I, in particular, and I'm going to mention names here. I don't give a shit.
That's great.
Guy Matt Cimber, who...
Oh, I know Matt.
Fucking Matt Cimber.
Yeah.
He had directed Butterfly. Was it Butterfly? Is that
what
it's called? With Pia Zadora.
Butterfly, Pia Zadora, and Stuart Whitman.
Yes, and he also started Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, or whatever that is.
Glow, yeah.
Glow.
Yeah.
So he had started all that stuff, and he was sleazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he got me out to California and really put the moves on me. Man, he was like, "Well, you're going to have to audition for this film, and I wrote a special scene just for you, and we have to rehearse it in this hotel." And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. This seems like you're trying to get in my pants. He's like, "No, why would... You're just a little nobody. Why would I be trying? I can have anybody I want." Yeah. I was married to...
Jane Mansfield.
Yeah, Jane Mansfield. I don't need... So, so I'm like, all right, whatever. And he keeps, professing that he's, just on the up and up. So I'm thinking, all right, you MFer, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna just give you free reign until you are, whatever, you got it hanging out or whatever, and then I can say, see, yeah, that's you're trying to get me on the casting couch. So so he's written this scene for me that he's tacked onto the front of the script. Mm-hmm. And the scene is, woman wakes up in a bed. Alarm goes off. Woman wakes up. She's sleepy. She hears the shower running in the bathroom. She gets up. She goes in the bathroom. Her boyfriend's in the bathroom. She gets in the shower with him and gives him a hand job. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. So, I mean, one thing led to another. And, of course, he then, dove into he had me wearing a bikini for this audition. Mm-hmm. So he kind of dove in. I'm like, okay, that's it. All right, you liar. And so that was that. Well, so I tell this story and a couple of other stories to this guy who was interviewing me for Film Threat magazine. Mm-hmm. And I said, I want to see this article before you publish it. I want to make sure you quote me correctly. Oh, yeah, we'll do that. No problem. So they published it, and they didn't show me the article before they published it, the interview.
Yeah.
And it comes out, and the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, I have it in my computer, who published the magazine, had thrown in a couple of little bylines that like, oh, Savoy, what was it? Still pursuing the golden carrot. Savoy continued, doing what Simber wanted or whatever it was. And I'm like, you bastard. I wasn't pursuing a golden carrot. I guess they thought that was funny and titillating and all that.
Yeah.
And so it just made me look like a bimbo. It made me look like that I did porn and that I was greedy and all those things. It was really pissed me off. So, so I became a victim a second time. Well, then years later, like about, I don't know, like 20, 25 years later, I'm in New York. I get cast in this big commercial campaign. Gray Advertising cast me in a big commercial campaign. And the day before or 2 days before I'm supposed to shoot, my agent calls and says, "You've been uncast from this project." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She says, "Well, their legal department did their due diligence, and they found something on the internet that made it clear that you did porn." I'm like, "I never did porn." And she says, "Well, they found something." And I said, "Well, can I talk to them and explain?" And she said, "No, they've dumped you and they've gone with somebody else." So I lost, a ton of money and my reputation with these people because of somebody who thought it would be cute and funny to bend my words in an interview. So you just have to be so careful what you do.
Yeah. Well, karma has come back to Matt. His health is not very good. When I talked to him in 23, I had to repeat myself 100 times because his hearing's not so good, and I spent.
Yeah, he's up there in years. I mean, he's got 80, right?
No, he's 90.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I spent the whole day editing out those whats and everything, but it was a good interview. I'm actually glad I got it.
Yeah.
And another friend of mine interviewed him.
Did he tell you his racy stories?
No, not really.
No, okay, because that's all he did was tell me racy stories, and it was just kind of. And I mean, I'm sure he's probably a great guy with the guys, but no, he wasn't so great with me.
I'm sorry you had that experience. That's just awful.
Yeah. Well, and I will say that I turned down the role in the film that he was making at the time. It was a film called Rigged with George Kennedy, and it was about oil rigs in Texas. And the girl who did the role that I did. Well, I don't know what happened with her, but I do know that he got fired off the film for shooting unrelated materials, quote unquote, racy unrelated material while they were shooting the film. So yeah, it does come back and bite you in the butt if you pull that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the American Way was your first movie?
Yeah, I think it was. Was it my first movie, The American Way? It was either that or maybe it was a TV movie, Little Girl Lost. It was one of those two. But yeah, my first feature was The American Way.
Yeah, I interviewed this actress who had been in a couple things I love.
Oh, was that Brittany?
No, Barbara Rosenblatt.
Oh, okay.
And I saw this movie on her IMDb, and I found it on YouTube and watched it, and I was just like, oh my God, this is awesome. Why couldn't somebody do this in real life when Trump ran the first time? I mean, it could have saved us a whole lot of trouble,
Yeah. It was a pretty fun, pretty radical movie at the time. Very, just real wacky and crazy and fun, and it was based on a real guy.
Yeah,
that character with video camera was based on a real guy.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper was making his comeback that year in '86 with Blue Velvet and Hoosiers. Yeah, and Michael J. Pollard, of course, is in it. God,
Michael J. Pollard, yeah.
I was like, this is an enigma. This movie.
I enigma. Yeah, and they had me. I mean, I'm the last person that you would put in a dominatrix
Yeah.
costume. I don't know why I got cast, but they cast me. The casting director, Liz Kegley, was a real big supporter of mine at the time, and I think she talked them into it. But I mean, I had to practically stuff a whole puppy and a kitten in that bra, because it was just,
Yeah.
it was made for a much more buxom person than me. But it was a hoot to shoot. I loved doing it.
I can already see a pattern here. You don't see yourself as sexy going back to, the Matt experience. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you are. You're very beautiful, unconventionally
Oh, well,
beautiful.
thank you. But
Yeah.
I do feel like a sexy person, but I am. I don't think of myself as slutty.
Yeah.
It's the difference.
No, but you're an actress. I mean, you can play it.
Sure, I can play slutty, absolutely, and it's fun. It's a fun thing to do.
Of
Yeah,
course, of course.
yeah, absolutely.
You are my third guest from Vasectomy, A Delicate Matter.
That was one of my first movies too. Yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
was so fun. And that was another one. That was another one where, like, if you're a young woman in film, forget it.
Yeah.
And young men, too. Some young men, I mean, what happened to the young men on House of Cards, I can't even begin to tell you. But yeah, that was one where the director, after I finished shooting, he wanted to keep me on, pay me to keep me on to be like an escort to Paul Sorvino.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And I told a couple of the other actors, one of the stars, and I said, I don't get it. He wants to keep me on as an escort to Paul Sorvino. I don't see Paul as that kind of guy. But I said, I'm not doing it because it would make me feel like a prostitute. And they're like, no, I'm sure you misunderstood him. I'm sure you misunderstood him. And then the next night we're out shooting at this ballpark, and the trailers are all lined up in the parking lot, and the director comes up to me, the director or the producer, somebody comes up to me outside of one of the honey wagons and says, we're gonna pay you, and you just have to be nice to Mr. Sorvino, and you show him a good time, and blah blah blah. And then this director walks off, and one of the stars of the film walks out of this trailer and goes, "Oh my God, you weren't kidding! Oh my God, this still goes on." So yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Sorvino was a sweetheart. Loved working with him. He was really, really fun.
I met him at one of his last conventions, and
Did you?
yeah, his health
great.
wasn't so good. It was like he was 30 minutes late, and we were in a long line. And then when he came, he looked like he didn't want to be there, but he got through it. He got through the whole day though. But yeah, it was an amazing
What was that for?
experience.
Was it for one of his films?
It was a horror convention that he was at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was
horror conventions. They're fun.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you remember guest starring on Houston Nights?
I do. That was a very small role, and I think they called me in at the very last minute because somebody couldn't make it, or somebody, I don't know, didn't work out, and they just called me and said, "Hey, can you be at Houston Intercontinental Airport in an hour?" And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I just hopped in my car and off I went. So I barely remember doing it because it was so last minute.
Yeah,
it was fun.
You don't remember if you had a scene with Michael Pare or anything?
I did, yeah. Those guys came up to. I was in an information booth, and they came up to me and had a little chit chat with me. It was not a big role, but they just, they were great guys. They were nice. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
The one I really enjoyed was what the hell was his name? The guy who played the dentist on the Bob Newhart show.
Peter Bonners.
Yeah.
Yep.
He directed a TV film that I was in, and I think that was one of my earlier ones too. And I went into audition for them, and I had on a little suit. I usually wore suits when I auditioned.
Mm-hmm.
And I do my thing, and all of a sudden, Peter Bonners looks down at my waist and says, "What's that?" And I look down, and hanging out below my little short suit jacket,
Mm-hmm.
there's this thing. It was my shoulder pad had worked its way down. It was white, and it looked like a Kotex hanging out of my, like a feminine pad hanging out of my suit jacket right in the front.
Yeah.
And I went, and he says, "What's that?" And I go, "Oh, it's my falsie. Here, would you like to hold my breast?" And I handed it over to him, and he chuckled. And so I walked out of there and stood outside the door. They closed the door. I stood outside the door, and I doubled over almost to where my face was hitting the ground, and just kind of did a silent scream. And in the middle of that, the casting director opens the door again, and they all see me standing there screaming into the rug. She looks down at me and she says, "You're lucky. Get back in here. They like you." So
Score.
I got the role, I guess, just from doing a little improv.
Score. You got some brownie points there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, that's the trick, is you have to realize that if you just be yourself, and with all your innate craziness, that's what they're going to hire you for,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they want to know that they can get along with you and that you're fun,
Yep.
Yep.
And that you're going to, like they do it, like in improv, you're going to yes and whatever they say.
Yeah.
You're just going to say, you're just going to go with it and add to it. So, yeah.
Next you did...
Houston was a great place to be an actor in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of runaway production, productions coming in from L.A.
Yeah.
I actually got a role on RoboCop 2, but there was the IATSE tried to organize and turn it into an IATSE union set, and the producer said, "Well, fuck you. We're just going to take our whole show and go back to California." And they did, and when they went back, they recast my role. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Next you did Cohen Tate, a very disturbing movie, I have to say.
Yeah, it was. But again, that was one of the best times, one of the best shoots of my life, because what was his name? Victor Kemper,
mm-hmm.
the DP, the cinematographer. Fabulous cinematographer. He did The Hospital with George C. Scott. He did Dog Day Afternoon. He did all these really quirky classics.
Mm-hmm.
And I just loved him. I love to make friends with the cinematographer because, they're the ones who are going to make you look great.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were there in Columbus, Texas, this little cow town, for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. And in this little motel, playing Trivial Pursuit every night and just having a great time. And Eric Red, the director who directed The Hitcher before that one, he was a doll, just a sweetheart. And I loved, the two stars.
Roy Scheider.
Roy Scheider was a sweetheart, as was Adam Baldwin.
Adam Baldwin, that's right.
Yeah.
Scheider is scary in this movie, though. I've never seen him that scary before in anything else.
He is, but you know what? I had seen him years before in probably my favorite movie, Sorcerer.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
I fucking love that movie. I fucking love it. And it's one of the reasons I knew I'd get along with Steven Soderbergh, because it's one of his favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's just that aesthetic. And that, to me, that's a scary, scary ass movie. So I kind of knew what to expect with Scheider, that he's, just very intense.
Very intense.
Yeah.
So you enter horror territory with The Cellar, and
I did, yes.
Was it Kevin Tenney who hired you, or was it John Woodward?
It was John Woodward. He wrote the script, and was supposed to be the original director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I auditioned for him in Houston. And, again, it was another one of those weird, quirky things. wanted to look a little, cute and sexy, so I sort of tied my shirt around the waist, and
Yes.
there was a little knot, and I tucked it into my jeans. And I didn't realize that it made like this little lump in my jeans.
Yeah.
And after I auditioned for him, and climbed all over his couch and climbed all over him, and it was fun. And then he called my agent and he said, "Well, I'd like to offer this role to Suzanne, but is there something anatomically different about her? Because she had this big lump in her breast." So I had to assure them that no, it was just a knot in my shirt. I didn't have a dick.
My God, that's hilarious.
So I did that, but I think I had only shot with him for a few days, and then the producers just swept in and removed him overnight because they had gotten behind schedule and they blamed him. And I felt so bad because it was his baby. It was, he had nurtured this project all along. But they swept him out and brought in Kevin Tenney, who had directed Witchboard,
Mm-hmm.
who is a freaking love Kevin Tenney and his wife Susan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a great time shooting. And they were always, he and my co-star, Patrick, and the kid playing our son Chris,
Mm-hmm.
they were constantly pulling pranks on me,
Really?
constantly doing weird shit, just to freak me out.
Yeah, I've talked to Danny Mora, who played Shiloh, the gun store owner.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, I think he told me that him and Kevin didn't get along, or Kevin got mad at him or something during filming.
Really?
Yeah, something.
Really? I'm shocked because Kevin was so mild-mannered.
Something along those lines. Yeah.
Huh.
Was that?
What that was all about?
I don't know. Was that your?
They were behind schedule or something, and
Maybe.
Kevin might have just been saying, "Well, just forget it and move on, and don't try anything fancy. Just keep going."
Yeah. Was
Probably.
Was that your summertime dress that you brought to the set?
No. Oh God, what was the? There was a costume designer who was great, and they flew me out to L.A. for a table read with Patrick. And while I was there, the designer took me to, I don't know, like Bergdorf's or someplace, and bought my entire wardrobe just, in one fell swoop at this, whatever the store was that we were in.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, belts, jewelry, everything.
Was the cellar really that stinky like in the movie?
No, as a matter of fact, when you see the kitchen in the background and we're looking down into the cellar, we're looking at a blank wall. There's no cellar there.
Oh.
The cellar, they had to do. It was they dressed up some room in this old warehouse and made it look like a cellar.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it was all just, or maybe they did that at the farmhouse. There was a farmhouse that had a cellar door. And I don't know if that was a real cellar door that they opened up, or if they added it on. I don't, because I did go down into the cellar, but I don't remember where it was. I think they built it on the sound stage.
Wow. I love this. I love the little scene where you two are on the couch and you tell him you want to relieve his anxiety, and he says, "How?" And you're like, "Use your imagination."
Well, when Kevin Tenney showed up on set the first day after John got fired, he shows up and it's a Sunday, and he says, "Okay, I want to have a meeting with the stars of the film." So we have a meeting, and he says, "Susie, I want you to stay afterwards." So we all talk, and then Patrick and Chris leave. And I'm sitting there with Kevin, and he says, "So, how do you feel about the nude scene?" And I went, "What? Nude scene? What are you talking about? There's no nude scene in my contract." And he says, "Well, I mean, it's clear to me that the scene where, you're talking to your husband and, that you're naked." I went, "Whoa, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. The kid could walk in at any moment, and I'd be naked on the couch." And he says, so we had, we went back and forth on that. And I called my agent, and she said, "Well," and I said, "It's not in the contract. If they want a contract for it, they have to pay me extra, and we have to talk about it. And she said, well, I don't know why you're being difficult. I was like, well, don't I have anybody to back me up? And I called my husband, and I said, they want me to do this. And he's going, well, I don't know what your problem is. And I'm like, well, no, nobody's backing me up on this thing. So I was all alone out here in the desert, and everybody's pressuring me to do this nude scene. And I didn't feel good about it because of the way that they had sort of backed me into it. It was like I was being coerced to save their film. Because at that point, I think they were all beginning to realize that this was not going to be a blockbuster movie.
Yeah. And
they're like, well, we got to get a naked woman in here to, get back some of our bucks. And I was, really the only woman, I guess, just about in the movie. So I was it. So it went back and forth and back and forth. And then the producer said, okay, we're going to do the nude scene tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, shit, man. Mm-hmm. So I go back to the motel, and Patrick's there, and we were having dinner. And I said, Patrick, I don't know. I feel weird about this nude scene. He goes, well, I don't see why you're being that way. Every actress in L.A. knows they have to do nudity. And I went, oh, wait a minute. You said actress. You didn't say actor. You said actress. And I said, well, if I'm nude, will you be nude too? And he goes, no. Like he had a real knee-jerk reaction. No. And I went, oh, okay. It's good. It's okay for the girl, but it's not okay for the guy. So I'm like, and I wouldn't have been averse to it. It's just don't back me in a corner and tell me to take my clothes off. We gotta have a contract.
Right.
So the next day I go to set, and the producer comes up, and he's walking with his arm around my neck and, around my shoulder. So, you ready to do your nude scene today? And I go, yep, I'm ready. He goes, really? I said, yep, I just have one condition. He goes, okay, what's that? I said, well, when I get naked, you have to get naked, and Patrick has to get naked, and Kevin Tenney has to get naked, and the 400-pound gaffer has to get naked, and all the girls in the office have to get naked, and, everybody on set has to be naked if I have to be naked. And nobody ever mentioned it again. That was the end of it. So
good for you. That is cool.
Yeah, threw it back in their teeth. And, you got to be on your toes. You would be, everybody thinks it's, everybody thinks it's okay, and it's not that hard, and, girls are just being stupid when they're not willing to do these things. But it comes up so often where somebody kind of goes, ooh, this movie's going to be a little bit of a stinker maybe. Mm-hmm. Okay, leading lady's got to take her clothes off. It's just so predictable.
Wow. You worked with the legendary Craig Baxley on Dark Angel. Anything stand out?
Well, that was I think I only did a couple of days on that. And who was the guy? There was a guy. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed working on that. It was a good set, and I can't remember the name of the actors. A face you've seen.
Dolph Lundgren and Brian Benben.
Wait a minute. I'll look it up. Well, I can't. I'm kind of busy talking. But anyway,
Brian Benben was on Dream On.
An older guy who was in it. I think he played one of the cops or a lieutenant or something. Anyway, so we went out and had dinner and just really had just really enjoyable time and yucked it up. But that was a good set. Really pleasant people, and I enjoyed that one.
You played Sam Elliott's wife in Rush.
Oh, that was a treat.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you get to work with Sam Elliott, forget it. He's just, and that guy, what a great guy. He worked with something, my husband at the time, James Black, was in something with him, and then they had to go back like months later or a year later and reshoot something. And Sam Elliott walked up to him and knew his name, or I think it was a different project. Mm-hmm. He worked on two different things with him, but he remembered him and knew his name, and there were a million people on this shoot. But he's just, he is that gentleman that you think he is. He really is that guy.
I've heard he's a nice guy, but he doesn't suffer fools.
Oh, probably not. But he was lovely to me, and I was pregnant at the time, which they liked that. Lily Finney-Zanuck, who directed it, she liked the fact that I was pregnant, which in many cases would be a liability. But she thought, ooh, that sort of ups the stakes if the wife of Sam Elliott, who's the the police captain or whatever he was, the head of the sergeant, whatever it was, that his wife is pregnant in the middle of this very dangerous operation.
Did you meet Greg Allman?
I did. I sat next to him in the table read. What a sweetheart!
Yeah,
Just absolute sweetheart. Have you met him?
No.
Did you meet him?
No, my dad played all the Allman Brothers records when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And it's so like I've always liked them. Yeah, I think it's like the only movie he ever was in too.
Really?
Something like that.
He was in it for, he went for broke. He did what he was supposed to do, and everybody in that was. Jason Patrick was great.
I met him. I met Jason Patrick.
Yeah. He was lovely, and what's her name? Who was in that? Who was also in Hudsucker Proxy?
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Jennifer Jason Leigh. That girl is so intense.
Yeah,
she gets into her character and she's in it.
Well, her dad was Vic Morrow, so he was intense.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. She was just always focused, always concentrating. She doesn't play around. She doesn't play.
Yeah, she's very talented.
Yeah, she is.
Any memories of Walker, Texas Ranger?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to take a swig of my coffee here.
Mm-hmm.
I did an episode of that, and then I did a commercial with Chuck Norris.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to kind of crouch a little bit because he's not a real tall guy, and he doesn't want to be towered over, and I'm pretty tall. But yeah, I never got to work. I didn't work with Chuck Norris in that episode because I was in scenes with this prison gang that had escaped from prison.
Mm-hmm.
But I was. My friend Kirk Sisko played my husband in that. We love working together. And they put me in some shoes that were a little wobbly.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go running down the stairs when these guys are chasing me and, we're pretty sure they're going to rape me. And so I go barreling down these stairs and I twisted my ankle, really twisted it bad. I could hear it just crunch. And if you see the episode and you see me running down the stairs and then talking to the inmate on the landing of the stairs, you can see that my eyes are crossing from the pain.
Wow.
I was just in so much pain. And they just kept that episode, or they kept that take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I remember, is having to go to the hospital and get my foot all taped up.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, everybody in that, all the guys in it were great. Oh, and a dear friend of mine, Kurt Rhodes from Dallas, had to try to rape me, and that was like total giggle fest,
Yeah.
We'd be, heavy at it, and I'm screaming and yelling, and he's menacing me, and then they'd yell cut, and we'd just collapse in a heap of giggles. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to work, and I enjoyed. I guess it was Chuck Norris's son who did the stunts. He was one of the stunt guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was the stunt director on the show, at least at some point.
Well, his brother Aaron always directed episodes. His brother Aaron directed episodes. I know that.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it was his son who was doing a lot of the stunts.
I saw you on an episode of Sex and the City where you were part of a Brady Bunch square joke at the beginning. Yeah, how did that come about?
Well, I had just moved to New York, and I could not get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to New York at the age of, 40 with a 5-year-old kid, and, and I thought I knew the ropes. I thought, I'm just going to take my big old career from Texas, and I'll just go to New York. And I just gotten a divorce, and, things were, you go through some changes when you go through all that. So I was really having trouble getting started as an actor in New York. I didn't realize that you got to know a lot more about auditioning in New York than you do in some other places. You have to know the difference between auditioning for a 5-camera comedy and for a daytime soap and for an indie film or for just different directors, different writers. So I didn't know all those things yet. So I went back to doing extra work. I just thought, well, I got to make some money. I'll just do some extra work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a role as, I guess, kind of a featured extra in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just showed up, and I did get to meet
Sarah Jessica.
What's the dark-haired one's name?
Kristen Davis.
Yeah, I met her in the it was like a cafeteria where they had all the food set up. So, I had a little chit-chat with her. But I don't think I met Sarah Jessica Parker. She was off doing something else.
Yeah, she has a podcast, Kristen Davis, called "Are You a Charlotte?" where she breaks down episodes with other celebrities and stuff. I was definitely a Charlotte in my 20s.
Oh, really?
I was very naive, but yet so open to like try anything sexually and just have fun. And it's a pretty cool one.
I'd enjoy that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, she puts out like 2 episodes a week of like a part 2 and stuff, because she talks a little bit about the person's career in the first one, and then they do the first half of the breakdown at the end, and then they do a full breakdown in the second one. That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll look it up. Are You a Charlotte?
Yeah.
Hey, how long have you been doing your podcast? You've got a lot of episodes.
It will be 9 years in May.
Wow, congratulations. You got in early.
Yeah, well, somewhat early. I mean, it had been going on for almost a decade at that point, but nobody knew it until, it wasn't until the pandemic, then the podcast world became so hot, everyone's doing one now, But yeah, definitely in the early years.
Yeah.
So I did not know this.
It changed a lot of things. It changed auditioning completely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and of course, everything's on Zoom now. Nobody really auditions in person anymore. A few people do, but not very many.
Every now and then, once in a while, yeah.
Yeah.
But on the upside, I will say that I get a lot more direct hires now. Get a lot more people just calling my agent and saying, we just want her. So that's nice. If you don't have to go through the rigmarole, and it's a lot of work doing auditions from home. You got to be your own lighting man, your own makeup artist, your own, you got to memorize this stuff or not, whatever. Your own cameraman, your own editor. It's just a lot of work.
Oh, yeah, I know. God, everybody has to like be their own, whatever now in the world of technology.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people are not cut out for it, and some people eventually learn it, and they think, wow, I should have made a career out of this.
Yeah. And then some people have grandchildren. And so they don't need to know any of it because their grandkids do it for them.
Exactly. Now, so I did not know this. The irreverent comedy newspaper, The Onion, had a series, and you were on it?
Yes, they did. I don't think they have it anymore, but that was great. Cody Beak, who casts a lot of comedy stuff now, he cast that, and that was a direct result, I think, of doing improv. The fact that they knew me from improv, from UCB,
Because I saw the movie, the Onion movie, 20 years ago. It went straight to DVD. Me and my friends watched it and laughed our asses off. We had to rewind a lot of stuff. It was so funny. You could not make that movie today.
I know. I wish they were still doing their comedy content because, their videos and stuff. Because I'll tell you, the one that I did was really fun to do. They had the whole big gown on me with the hairdo, and it was really fun. It was great. Do
you know where it's available? Because I'd like to see it.
I think I might have a link to it. I'll send it to you.
Oh, great! That'd be great. Because
it's called Bad Boy Fencing Star does
Yeah.
something. I don't know, steals the crown jewels or something like that.
Because I'd love to see un-PC comedy in this weird time we're living in right now. So that would be great if I
Yeah,
could see
yeah,
that. You
yeah,
know, I was um
yeah,
I was listening to a podcast that you did focused on health, and an old acting student of yours was the host,
yeah.
who does stand
Lauren,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you have diabetes and you've survived cancer. Um,
Hmm.
I myself have diabetes, and it's under control, and it's
Oh,
great.
good. Good for you. Yeah.
Yes,
Is it type 1 or type 2?
it's the type 2. It's the obesity
Oh,
one. I've lost 50
oh.
pounds so far, and I'm doing great.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
Great. Well, I got type 1 and it showed up 2 years ago.
God,
So how the hell that happens, I do not know. Because that's the one that you usually get in childhood.
yeah, that's
But
when the kids
yeah,
get.
no, I got it, and so I have to shoot up every time I eat. I have to shoot up insulin every time I eat.
I'm lucky I didn't get it when I was a kid. I was fat
Yeah.
for my whole childhood, and I can't believe
Uh,
I didn't get it. But like
yeah.
how so overall though, like your health is pretty good other than that.
Dude, whatever it is, I'm like, bring it on, man. Just what do you got? What do you got? Come on. Because every time I turn around, it's some other body part is falling off. But yeah, I had type 4. I had not type 4. I had hang on, my phone is ringing dinging in my ear because my blood sugar's high. I drank a little too much coffee. I had stage 4 rectal cancer.
Hmm.
Thank you very much. And so
Yeah.
they were going to just give up on me, the medical community in New York. And
Yeah. I laughed
after a
out
few
loud
months
when you
of
told that story.
I just, I'm like,
Yeah.
no. I hopped on a plane and went down to MD Anderson in Houston and got a second opinion and said, yeah, no, I'm going to live. You're not going to just write me off. So I fought like hell and came back. And then I think like a year after I went through chemotherapy and radiation for that, I got cast in the Nick with Soderbergh. And it was just like, oh man, this is my reward for getting better, for fighting it. Because that was, working with him is one of my favorite things of all time. And he's cast me, maybe 3 times. He's cast me in 3 different projects.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting around for the 4th.
Yeah.
But so that happened, and then I had a very small breast cancer, which they were able to remove. It was just a little thing, but I did have radiation, and the day I finished radiation, I started shooting The Upside with Kevin Hart and Nicole Kidman and Bryan Cranston.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I thought Nicole Kidman was going to be real uppity. That woman is so freaking sweet.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that she had taken nursing courses so that she could take care of her mother when she had cancer. And so when I was on the set, Nicole Kidman was taking care of me. She was like, well, do you need to sit down? Here, let me bring you a cup of tea. Here, let me show you this exercise. This exercise is really good for, for your arm muscles and for this and for that. She was just a doll. And so, now that she's going through a rough patch, I'm like, no, not Nicole. We don't want her to go through a rough patch. So,
Yeah.
And then after that, like 3 years ago, I had ovarian cancer.
Yes.
And again, they were going to take a couple of months before they were going to remove it in New York. And I just went, no, we're not going to wait around. So I got on a plane again, went down to Houston, and within a week they were cutting it out. So
I tell anybody who's going through ovarian cancer or prostate cancer, masturbate every day, because people don't realize it. The whole purpose of having fluid in those areas is to get rid of it. So if you keep it in,
that's true.
if you keep it in too long, it's going to kill you.
Yeah, well, that was something that somebody said to me. They said, yeah, your uterus is like your husband, or I don't know. Men are like, see if I can say this right.
Mm-hmm.
Your uterus is like a man. When you're young, all they want to do is get you pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
When you're old, all they want to do is kill you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, since
yeah.
I've turned 40, I've gotten prostate exams, but they're blood tests now, partially because
Yeah, so I hear,
of
yeah.
COVID and Me Too, and I'm disappointed by that. I always wanted the doctor to finger me, always.
It's like, oh, they're going to shove something up there. Ooh.
Yeah, well, in a few years I'll be getting my first what is it, colonoscopy, right?
Uh-huh.
So that'll probably make
Yeah.
up for it.
You'll be like, oh, no, don't put me out. Don't put me out.
Yeah.
Do it
So,
with the gerbil.
oh God, no, 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 no
Do the
gerbil.
gerbil
I'm
colonoscopy.
not Richard Gere. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man, you're deep. You're deep into the trivia. Oh my God.
I am. I always have been. Before the internet,
Yeah.
people used to come to me all the time. Like my parents' friends would call me up and say, "Hey, do you know what year this movie was made or who was in this?"
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they don't do that
Yeah.
no
Well,
more.
when you first contacted me, you're like, yeah, I'm a big fan of. I don't know. You mentioned a few of my
The
like
Cellar and stuff.
really, yeah, the really obscure movies. And I'm like, yeah, you were no fan of that. But now I'm like, no, yeah, he really was. He really
Yeah.
knows these movies. It's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes. So, do you have anything upcoming you could mention?
Oh God. Well, these days, well, and I'll say it.
Mhm.
About how many years ago? About like 7 or 8 years ago, when I was doing House of Cards. Um, Kevin Spacey, what a dick.
Yeah.
He really hates older women, really hates them,
Oh God.
and was just evil to all the older women except the stars.
Mhm.
You know, if there was a big fat star on set, then he'd be real nice to them. But those of us who are kind of the journeyman actors, he was just miserable and mean, and he was one of the producers, so you couldn't say anything,
Mhm.
not really. And I got to the point where I didn't want to be an actor anymore. And I will say, I did the first season, and then I went back, because I was a Democratic National Chairwoman,
Mhm.
I would be there for election years.
Yeah.
And so I came back 4 years after the first season, and by that time they had to put barbed wire, razor wire, all around the compound,
Mhm.
because I think some of the parents of some of those young guys who were in the show wanted to kill him. I think he was paranoid that these people were, somebody was going to come get him and,
Yeah.
mess him up. And everybody says, oh, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know what was going on. Everybody knew. They all knew.
Everybody
You could watch
knew.
it going on right in front of you. So anyway, after 3 seasons of working with him, I was just like, I'm done. I don't want to be. And I'd had a couple of other, just kind of crummy experiences on big TV shows, and I thought, I don't want to be treated like shit anymore. I want to be treated like I'm dirt. So I was going to give up my career and do something else. And then after a few months, I thought, well, this is stupid. I'm giving away my career to some dumb boys who can't behave themselves. Well, that's silly. So I thought, well, what I need is I have to control my narrative, and I have to have more power on set. So I thought, all right, I know, I need to create my own content. So for the last, I would say, 7 years or so, I created a solo show that I take around to universities and libraries and small theaters about a woman. She was the first professional female author in France, and possibly the first fully professional author in France, because she didn't have any other job. She just wrote for a living. And so I translated her works from Middle French into English, and I perform a play about her, and then I have another show that I do about her, of one of her works. And so the most recent one that I translated, I have just started touring with, and I'm going to be publishing the book of the translation. So that's taken up a lot of my time. And I have a indie film called All of It that's been in a bunch of film festivals recently. that's going on, and I am going to be doing something for IBM next week. I don't know if it's a commercial or if it's some kind of informational thing. I'm just not sure. But it does seem like work is gearing up again for the new year.
That is fabulous. That is fabulous. Yeah. See, you have longevity.
Well, I've learned that you have to diversify. I've always done all the media. I do radio. I did anime voices. I do film, TV, stage, industrial films, whatever. And so when they get tired of seeing your face in one medium, then, you hopefully will get work in some other medium for a while. And you just kind of bounce around.
Absolutely. So real quick, we got to play by secret silly game. This is a series of silly slumber party questions. It's no win or lose. It's just pure fun. And
the last time I played one of those, I don't know, Tommy. I don't know. I'm digging my heels in here because New Year's Eve I played one of those games with my daughter and her friends. She's 34, and they were playing Never Have I Ever. And honestly, you don't want to play Never Have I Ever with your mother because somebody's going to ask a sexual question and your mother's going to answer in the positive. And you're not going to want to know about it.
Oh, no. I'm not going to have anything sexual.
All right.
These are benign silly questions. It's like an improv game. So I ask you
I can make it nasty if I want to, right?
Oh, of course. Okay. All right. I definitely will. So I ask the question, you answer it, and then you ask me that exact same question, and I answer it. And feel free to comment on the answers because they might be funny.
Okay.
Okay. Suzanne, are you ticklish?
Oh my God, yes. Don't tickle me.
Yeah.
I'll throw up. And Tommy, are you ticklish?
Yes. If you tickle me without warning, I might hit you in the groin.
Oh, no. Oh, so it's not a pleasurable thing.
It is, but if you just give it to me without warning, otherwise I'm going to get a herky-jerky reflex and hit you.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind next time I come out there.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Okay. All right, next.
Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
Oh, innie. Big innie. Yeah, I could put my lunch in there. I could carry my lunch around. Get a little lid, stick it on there. Yeah. How about is yours an innie or an outie?
It's a very deep innie, and I call it the bottomless pit.
Do you have to clean it out?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
To go in there with the lint brush?
I don't have a lint brush. It's funny. I've never had one ever in my life. But, yeah, I definitely do clean it out and stuff. I had there was a girl, she told me once that I could fit crystal meth in there. It was so deep. What color are your toenails painted?
Oh my God! At the moment, they're painted chipped red. There's like little chips of red paint on them. I've just kind of let them. I'm so ashamed. I painted them like 2 months ago, and I just kind of let them go. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know what? After I talk to you, I'm going to go in there, and I'm gonna do a job on them.
Okay, that's good. You send me a picture later.
Well, all right, I'll send you a picture. But now listen, you have to know I'm on WikiFeet.
Oh, you are?
I am.
I did not know that.
My daughter discovered it, and she just about died.
Mom. I'll definitely take a look.
And I'm not even a 10. I think I'm like a 7.5, which chaps my ass. So I'm actually on a campaign to take some good pictures of my feet and send them in so that I can raise my score.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, so what color are your toenails?
Mine are gold and silver. I like to do like a holiday themed each month, right? Like last month was red, green, and white, and then this month is gold and silver, and then next month will be pink for Valentine's Day.
Well, Tommy, I think if you say they're gold and silver right now?
Yes.
I think you should put a hood ornament on your big toes.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Maybe.
Do some kind of like a hood ornament.
Maybe.
You'd have to wear sandals. I've never seen anybody do that. I think you need to get like a Bentley or some kind of cool hood ornament and stick it on there.
I'll definitely consider it.
Okay.
What would you say is your best personality trait?
Oh God, my best personality trait. Now, see, I'll remember what it is after we hang up. I My best personality trait. Well, nothing really. I'm just wonderful all over.
You are.
To believe that.
You
But
are.
I will say, I think I'm really good at mothering. Mostly good at mothering. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing. I have ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
and so sometimes I sort of wander off and leave my my chicken, alone. But no, I always come back. No, I think I'm a good mom, attested to by the fact that I have an amazing daughter. She's just freaking amazing. I love her to death. She's just so cool.
Love it.
So yeah, I think that's. So what's your best trait?
I'm a Gemini, so I have empathy and I have no filter.
Ah, so maybe you're a little ADHD too.
I am. I was in special ed in school. I had trouble
Definitely
concentrating.
neurodivergent. Yes. I think. Which is good. I'm neurodivergent too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I really just discovered I have ADHD about 2 years ago, and it explains so much.
It does.
Yeah. So you were saying that you are. Say it again.
I'm AD, ADD.
Filter. You have no filter.
Yeah, no filter.
Well, that's good for a podcast.
It is.
Interviewer.
It definitely
Although
is.
I always wanted to be a DJ or have my own radio show.
Mm-hmm.
But I always felt like, I don't have a filter either, and I'm just going to say something awful.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that? Of course, you don't have to worry about it because there's no, whatever it is, FCC or whatever it is.
I've said a few things in the past I regretted and stuff I've taken out,
Yeah.
But other than that, no. I mean, I'll tell you, once I started drinking coffee, it made my life so much better. It gave me less anxiety, and now
Really?
I'm able to focus a little bit better. Yeah, because in the beginning, I smoked weed a little bit. I drank a lot of Pepsi, which has a lot of caffeine in it, but the coffee has
and that's
has
the kind
really
of
helped.
caffeine that just makes you jittery. It doesn't sort of doesn't really do anything good for you. But that's funny that you say that because I just started drinking coffee maybe 2 years ago, and it's changed my life too.
Yeah.
I don't have that sinking thing in the middle of the afternoon, and I just feel a little more positive.
Absolutely, it does. It mellows you out a little bit. As much as it makes you wired, it mellows you out at the same time, I feel.
Yeah.
What is your guilt?
You're self-medicating, but in kind of a good way.
Exactly. Okay. What is your guilty pleasure?
Chocolate.
Oh, that's good.
Like I have stolen my child's chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
When the Easter Bunny left her chocolate, I stole it and ate it. And to the point where at one point I went into the freezer to get her some chocolate she had hidden in there, and I opened the box, and it was empty, and there was a note in there. She was 5 years old at the time, and the note said, "Not this time, Mom." So, yeah, it's my guilty pleasure. What's your guilty pleasure? I hate to ask.
I love eating pizza and watching a raunchy sex comedy movie.
That's not guilty. That shows you have good sense. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, is this homemade pizza or is this one that you have ordered in?
Ordered in. I've never been a homemade kind of a guy.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I would eat frozen pizza because that was all there was, right? But I never liked it. I never liked it.
Yeah. So what's your favorite pizza? Your favorite place to order from?
So many. I loved Pizza Hut, Mountain Mike's, Domino's, even though they're not as good as they used to be. I'll still eat them. Round Table. I don't get to eat them as frequently. They've gotten so expensive, but places like that,
Yeah. Best pizza I ever had was in the suburbs of Chicago.
Oh, yeah, I've heard.
I went to Chicago, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to have some good pizza. I went to all the places that were recommended, and it was garbage.
Oh, God.
Garbage. And then I was out in the suburbs in, Glen Ellen, which is, I guess, outside of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I don't know the name of this place, but it was That pizza must have weighed 25 pounds. It had so much shit in it. It was so good.
Did you notice you gained weight afterwards?
Do I know what?
Did you notice that you gained weight afterwards?
Oh, I'm sure I did. I'm sure. And I would go back in a second for another slice of that stuff. So good.
If you could have anything named after you, what would it be?
Anything named after me? Maybe a movie, like a good movie, a blockbuster movie. No, not a blockbuster. No, an art film.
The Suzanne Savoy story.
Yeah, I don't know, something. Just Suzanne Savoy. Yeah, maybe. No, but then that would have to be like a documentary, and then they'd find out all my secrets. So I don't know. Let me think if I could have anything named after me. A line of clothing, a line of really cool, really edgy clothing. I would like that. What about you? What would you?
Oh, get ready for this.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
A vibrator. And I would call it the Tommy Chatsy.
But then here's the thing. Are you going to want to have your name on it like on a plaque, or is it a whole line of vibrators? Is it just one vibrator, or is it like a whole line of vibrators?
Either or, you know.
But you can't put a plaque on a vibrator. That shit's going to rip you up.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Especially with those nails on each side of it.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. Unless you're into that, unless,
I don't like that much of rough stuff, no.
No. Oh, my God, a vibrator. That's hilarious.
And
they actually sold vibrators as a sideline when I was in my 20s. I was desperate for money.
Wow.
And I did those, what they call fuckerware parties.
Uh-huh.
Where you go into somebody's house. And
I've been to them. Yeah.
Selling vibrators and stuff. And the funny thing was, I didn't know how to pronounce any of this stuff. and I'd be, selling, going into my spiel, and these women, these suburban housewives would be looking at me like, oh my God, what's that part of the body? So yeah, I didn't last long.
Oh yeah, I had a friend who worked for a vibrator company, and she invited me to one and stuff. And I met some pretty interesting people there. And one of her coworkers was there. I was Facebook friends with her for a while and stuff. Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah. Well, if you get somebody who knows what they're doing, I didn't know what I was doing. So.
And then my favorite question is: Is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
There is. What is it? Oh God. That makes me gag. See, these questions are tough. I guess a festering pile of maggots.
I never heard that before.
In the bottom of my fridge.
I've heard maggots,
I'll
but
let you guess.
I've heard
I
maggots.
bought a fridge for $10 from from this house where they had AA meetings and CA meetings and stuff. And they were moving to some new place, and they had a fridge. And so I bought their fridge for $10. I had some guys move it into my kitchen, and I opened it up, and it was somebody had left a package of celery in there, and it was crawling, and everything was liquid, and it was maggots in it. That was gross. And I cleaned it out, and I used it anyway.
I've heard maggots, but not a festering pile of maggots. That's priceless.
Yeah. So, okay, all right. Gross me out. Come on. What's yours?
Mine is either farts or feet.
Farts or feet? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I like...
What's the worst you can do?
I like
feet.
Have
some pretty smelly farts and feet.
I like feet,
your
but they
farts
got...
and feet or somebody else's farts and feet?
Yeah, somebody else's. I like feet, but they gotta be clean.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Was I in a play, or maybe somebody told me the story of this in Houston?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in a play had such dirty, dirty, dirty feet,
Mm-hmm.
and they would never wash them, that they came up to somebody in the front row. They came up real close to somebody in the front row, and the person bent over and threw up on their feet.
Oh, God.
In the middle of the play. Yeah. At Main Street Theater in Houston, I think it was. Threw
Love
right
it.
up on their feet, right in the middle of the show.
I love it. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're not alone.
I got a joke for you.
Okay, all right.
What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
I don't know what.
A liar.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Suzanne,
Okay.
thank you so much for coming on today. You are just so
Thank
awesome.
you. This was fun.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, I'm so sleep deprived. When I hang up, I won't even know what we said.
Yeah.
I'm just exhausted because I don't know why. I stayed up too late. But no, just a treat to talk to you, and I'll be looking forward to listening to some more of your podcast.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. Yes, this was just so awesome, an unexpected treat, and I loved every moment of it. And I hope you have a happy new year. Be safe, be healthy, and whatever you got going on, I will keep my eye out for it.
Okay, love. You too.
You too. Bye-bye.
And I'm going to look you up when I come out west.
I would love that.
All righty. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Suzanne Savoy. Ain't she a sweetheart? Oh my God. She is just so honest and so fun. And you can't really tell she was sleep deprived because she was just on her game. I mean, just fabulous. I enjoyed every moment of that conversation. She's a gem, just a true gem. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!